Yo, you tuning into the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building,
Harold.
And it's Harold today.
Today is Harold. You
are tuning in to a special segment of Outlawed Opinions by the Notion Podcast.
Yeah.
And we got some stuff to get into. Hey, some things I've been learning, man. People like when we get right into it.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's cool. I'm still going to ask, how you been? Because it's been a minute.
I've been good. I've been good.
Been good?
Yeah. Got to get back into a routine.
Yeah.
Shake off a little bit of the little BS. But other than that, I can't complain. I've been cool. Yeah.
That's what's up, brother.
Yeah, I can't.
I appreciate it, man. It's been cool for me.
Getting ready to go to the NO. I got to New Orleans in a couple weeks.
What's going on out there?
It's for work.
Oh, it's like that?
Yeah, it's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, professional development.
Oh, that's what they call it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I could have been in New York City.
New York City?
Yep, New York City. Remember them barbecue commercials?
Bruh.
Yeah, I could have been in New York a couple of weeks ago, but it was too quick of a turnaround, and I was like, nah. And I'm glad I didn't go because the weather wasn't good out there anyway.
Man.
So,
man, the weather
where we at?
The weather is bad in a lot of areas right now.
Yeah, they talk about rain and shit still. Yeah. Like when I go to New Orleans, I think I looked at the weather report.
Well, that's not any better because the South,
it's 80 and it's raining.
And humid.
That's what I'm saying. So I had to look at. Good thing I looked at the weather
I do not
report.
miss that about living in the South at all. I don't.
You got to bring a windbreaker jacket or something like that, but it's just gonna stick to
you. You got to wear a windbreaker jacket, hold an umbrella with shorts on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Wear sandals. That's the only way you can halfway survive.
Yeah, so I'm finna hit the NO.
Okay.
Be out there for
safe travels, brother.
Good.
You know what I'm saying?
Good for 5-6 days, I think.
Okay, so we parlaying. All right.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Other than that, man, I'm straight.
That's what's up, brother. Good to hear. Good to hear. Well, our topics, the people that we covering, they not so good. It's a lot of stuff going on, bruh.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's been a lot of rumblings in the news. In the internet.
Yes. The internet has been full of content. So, without detouring our guests, have you been following the DDG Halle Bailey feud back and forth?
No lie. I don't follow a lot of things.
Me neither.
They just come across the desk.
Bro, I think that's the premise of our platform is there's things that just come across our desk where it's like, I can't ignore this.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
And then so that's how I get a lot of the information. So I've been aware of what's been going on, but I haven't been totally in tune
with the details.
Like, the whole thing. But I do know that, they broke up sometime last year.
Yeah.
They have a child.
Yeah.
There's been some accusations of domestic abuse.
Right.
She had the restraining order.
Uh-huh. Temporary sole custody.
Yeah, then, fans and stuff commenting and saying things or whatever, alluding to whatever they think might have been happening or who they believe or not.
Right.
And then we also have, I think she showed some pictures.
Yeah, some pictures of like some bruises on her arm, the chipped tooth, and that kind of helped her get that restraining order and things of that nature. And then he came out.
And
it's almost like the other half of the story.
Now, this is what I looked when I saw these text messages. I didn't know what was going on. You know how sometimes you're like, what the fuck am I reading?
Yeah.
Like, I'm confused on who this is or what is this about.
Right.
And so that a couple, that's when you go check the comment section.
Yeah. They're going to help you. They're going to spell it out for you.
Yeah, comment section help you really gain an understanding of what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And then so you see text messages where it's like 5, 6, 7 texts from one person.
And then like one response from the other person.
So I had to put it together like, oh, somebody getting ignored. All right, this person. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So who is? Oh, that's her.
Yeah.
She wilding.
Right.
That's where. And then now we have a restraining order from him.
Well, he filed a motion
to prevent her from taking the child.
Yeah, and it got denied. And so two things, bro. Before we really dive deep into this, there's the reason why I'm asking you. The reason why I was really eager to ask you is because I believe that you can relate to how complex it is to co-parent after relationship, right? And
I have
not on that level. Not on that level. I'm not going to assume it's on that level. But I just think no matter who you are, when you have to co-parent, it's not going to be as easy as both parents in the household.
Okay, so this is when I say I have an experience, I'm an anomaly.
Yeah.
I have children with 2 different women.
Uh-huh.
I've never had this type of issue. I've never in post breakup, like communication was an issue in the relationship,
Which is common.
difference of opinion maybe on how to go about certain things with the kids.
Yep. Common.
But as far as like post breakup communication, that's not an issue whatsoever right now.
Yeah.
I just called my son's mom on the whim. I hit you before. She watched my daughter right now.
Right.
Because I needed somebody to watch my daughter.
Right.
Her mom, I hit her like we communicate. She tells me what's going on. There's no like I don't have.
That's definitely.
I don't know this.
That's definitely an anomaly. Like for you to be able to have your oldest mother babysit your youngest child, there has to be so much communication, understanding, being on the same page, and getting along all at the same time, which is a rare, because every time you hear about a situation with a child, it's always negative.
Yeah, because I feel like I don't know what it, when some people say, oh, they are still attached to each other.
Yeah.
I feel like we still have that connection, especially my son's mom and I, and my daughter's mom. She's in a relationship, so it's kind of like it's a difference of that feeling, but it's still a caring of this person to where like I don't know what it is with the other people in their communication. Like all it is, hey, are you able to keep her a little longer today? Oh yeah, that's for sure. Okay, because both of us are. I feel like my daughter's mom and I, in that regard, is like, it's our kid. So if I'm not gonna be like, no, it's your day. Like,
that's my child.
That's my child.
Yeah.
So why am I not gonna?
Why would I say I don't want my child on a day where I normally don't have my child, and then when I don't have my child, I'm talking about how much I miss my child?
Or can you keep her longer?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
sure.
that's my child.
Sure. Like that's literally
why doesn't that work for other people? I don't. Yeah,
that's literally how it always goes with us. Is like, hey, are you able to watch? Yeah, no, I can't today. Okay, all right, that's fine.
Yeah,
now it's my responsibility because it was already my responsibility.
Right.
But now it's like, oh, okay, that's fine. It's not. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
I know with these two, with them, number one being much younger than us, and then number two, it seemed like the minute that they were in a relationship and that was under the microscope, there was already a lack of support and a lot of judgment. A lot of people felt like she was too good for him. He was leeching off of her because they didn't know him well enough to know anything. They thought
he was a bum.
They thought he was a bum, but really he's like this big time streamer. He's like on the same level as Kai Cenat and other people that
he kind of predated Kai Cenat a little bit.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
The fame.
Exactly. Yeah. So people weren't aware of that, and then his name has been getting dragged since.
And he do music.
Yeah, he does music.
And he MMA. He was in the UFC.
I mean, I'm just saying. The dude does have a longer resume than what people would assume, right? Now, when it came to the scenario of them, first of all, the pregnancy was there was an effort to hide the pregnancy because you got to remember when
she's a Disney star.
Yeah, and then on top of that, people were speculating, and then that's when her sister came out like, y'all know what y'all talking about, and then people did know what they were talking about, right? And
she's too slim to hide a baby.
Very. I mean, the photoshopping and stuff could only happen.
Slim to hide. Yeah, you can't hide no baby.
But it seemed like there was a effort to be private, and then that went away once they were running into hard times. Now, what the thing is that I find very interesting about this situation is there's women that are in support of him. And, you don't see that. Those aren't the loudest voices. Because right now, I feel like right now in this day and time, this era, we're in a real civil war between men and women,
black men
and black men and black women.
For sure.
It's a straight up civil war. So any news that comes out about a couple, people are automatically choosing a side. And the scary thing about the choices and the support it's not, normally it would make sense to, I'm I'm gonna side with the men because I'm a man. They're gonna side with the women because they're a woman. But now that there's like proof and evidence of certain behaviors that were happening, people are still sticking to that side and saying, nope, I don't care. And that's scary to me because it's like, so regardless of how wrong this person was, or regardless of how much accountability both sides should take, you're still like, nah, because it's a woman, or nah, because it's a man.
I think even I agree with that, but it's even the difference with Haley and Haley, right?
I think Halle, I say Holly.
Yeah, because she spelled it that way. But baby girl and DDG is like almost a difference between Megan and Tory.
Yeah.
A little bit. Tory had big label money and stuff like that, but the support, the carriers, the people who are carrying Haley, the people that are on her team.
Yeah.
There's a difference between the people that is behind DDG. I think this is self-made.
Yeah.
This is independent. This is
okay. So it's like independent
business.
versus the machine.
For sure.
Yeah.
Image, everything, all that.
For sure.
And
PR
then,
team, marketing, lawyers. Yeah.
For sure. There's an investment in
that's
this.
Definitely a good mirror. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that. Yeah.
And then you got to think, who have we seen her be over the course of her career, and who does he portray to be? And then that is where we're going to judge these two individuals based on what we think could have happened.
Perception.
Yeah. We're just going to be like, oh yeah, he wild, and she's clean cut.
She's girl next door, does what she's supposed to do. Don't be in the headlines.
Coming of age now.
Yeah,
she might have had a little thing with her. She's showing off her body a little bit. But as far as like image versus image, this is where people are going to play that game at.
Right.
And we don't know none of these people
personally.
Whatsoever. He could look crazy,
but be
the least
aggressive.
It could be in a moment.
Right.
She could be the manipulator and the more aggressive. We don't know. Or it could be a cross between, they both fucking manipulators and crazy. We don't know.
Bro.
But it's just been, one thing I could say that's damaging to these relationships a lot of time is, it's too many fucking people in your business.
Yes.
And so you, naturally as humans, we're going to behave off of how we think people are perceiving us in our relationships.
Right.
So if you give people too much, you might start behaving certain ways, and shit might seep in when somebody be like, oh man, she doing this in her life. Just comments itself is going to filter, it's going to leak into your brain. So your subconscious or consciously going to sometimes it's going to affect how you feel, how you behave, and the thoughts that you have, regardless of whether that's really how you feel. You know what I'm saying?
This is
Jay-Z and Beyonce, although they're extremely big megastars, entertainers, there's only so much that we see of them and get from them.
Yes.
Kendrick's and J. Cole's an extreme example of those two kind of people. So yeah, man, I think it's that. I think it's the machine versus the independent, and then I think it's just they're young, they grew up in this social media age, and then all those other different factors playing.
Now, because I was a lot and I was accurate too. I think the unfortunate thing about these situations is several things. He kind of reminds me, with his background and his demeanor, he kind of reminds me of Keith Lee a little bit.
Bro, that's the person I keep seeing when I think of him is Keith Lee.
Yeah.
Keith, the MMA.
Yeah, MMA, self-made, the whole, not really a part of the machine, says what he really feels, and
kind of a little bit weird.
Yeah,
and I say weird like
quirky or awkward.
Yeah, because DDG, even though he's known, he is, when he be in the room with them other dudes, you can see how the other dudes kind of like feel about him and treat him.
Yeah. And I'm gonna just say this: when everything came out about him, and they had the evidence that Halle Bailey was sharing the chipped tooth and the bruise on her arm, the first people that spoke out was like a couple of his friends saying, nah, it's not like that, we're around, and it was ignored, right? And then he came out with, well, I'm not even gonna say he came out with the receipts. He submitted this proof to the courts, And then social media, because it's public information, and then social media got a hold of it and they responded to it as if he was trying to expose her. No, he went the private, I'm going to the court route.
So he didn't release these on the internet.
Yeah, to my knowledge, you know, because I've seen other platforms having this information. And the thing that I find interesting, right, about this is that it was most women's comments I seen disregarded it. But there were several videos that I seen from women saying, nah, I believe him. So it's very mixed, right? But I will say, as far as in when he submitted everything, people immediately took it as being retaliatory. Well, you have to respond to something being an accusation about you in whatever way you decide to respond. For example, the Diddy tape, right? When the situation came out with Cassie, then he responded. He could have responded to that when there were allegations, but when his image was on the line, he decided to respond. Same thing with DDG. Now that this is public information, because there's people that do this for a living. They're looking at court documents, seeing who's submitting what to get a story. I don't think that Halle Bailey immediately just put that out there. I think once it became public information, people had at it. So I think both of them tried to go the court route the best way they could. But it was interesting to me that it was already believed everything she put out, and he put out something that was damaging to her end, and those same people just didn't want to believe it. Kind of like the Meg and Tory thing. Once the public seen, because a lot of people saying that's nothing new, that evidence isn't new. It's new to everybody because we didn't see this when it originally happened. It wasn't even, I don't even think it was included in the court case either. So now that the public has a chance to see it and have a true opportunity to take the left and the right and say, what do you believe? I honestly believe between Halle Bailey and DDG that she wasn't as innocent as the perception was.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, like,
and then people were using postpartum, saying, well, she was going through postpartum and this, that, and the other. Well, hold on. The stuff that he submitted was before pregnancy. Some was after pregnancy, but a lot of stuff that she was saying and was doing was before pregnancy, including when she took his firearm and was dipping out. And you can't ignore that.
You can't use no postpartum as an excuse for your ill behavior. I don't care about that. Like, I'm not saying postpartum depression is not a real thing.
Oh, it's very real.
It's a lot of people walking around here with depression. So we gonna say, hey man, he was depressed. That's why he slapped the shit out of dude, or that's why he shot dude. He was depressed. Let's excuse that.
Well, most of these people that do heinous crimes that involved multiple victims when you start looking at the backstory, they be having mental health issues, and they be having they were on some kind of medication, and they don't get a pass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
they don't get a pass.
Whatever. She's not the first woman in history to have postpartum whatever.
Right.
It's millions and billions of women on this earth who have had children.
Yeah,
who are not
my wife
talking the same way.
The mother of your children, like, yeah, they all have had. Let's do this though.
She's stressed.
Let's do this. Let's do this because I don't think a lot of people know how to spin things around. I'm gonna ask this question for the women. This is for the women. This isn't an attack.
Yeah, men don't answer this one.
For the women, this is a question for you. For those that believe and that are comfortable with the idea that her behavior that's been exposed by DDG, Halle Bailey's behavior, right? For those that believe and understand that she probably could have had some postpartum issues, would you give her a pass if she was coming at you like that? Or would you give her a pass if she was coming at a loved one like that? So, for example, say you and her have y'all kids at the park, right?
Yeah.
And because she's going through some depression, some postpartum depression and stress and all of this stuff, she decided to go off on your child because your child took something from her child at the park. And she cussed your child out or pushed your child or whatever. But she's going through postpartum. Would you give her a pass then?
No,
that's my question. That's a real question. Leave it in the comments.
Even on that, on top of that, if y'all have a conversation and you go up to her and hold her accountable and she be like, oh, yeah, my bad. I just had a baby 2 months ago. My fault. You supposed to be like, oh, I get it. No.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
No.
Because I do believe that in a lot of scenarios when we're talking about emotions and personal experiences, people have a tendency to move the goalpost when it's beneficial to their bias.
Mm-hmm. The same way they do with Kanye.
Yeah, same thing they do with Kanye.
His mom died.
Yeah, his mom been gone a long time, but they talking about it like it was last Tuesday, right? So that's a question. Answer that question, because now I'm looking at it like, there's a good chance that this dude right here probably wasn't the aggressor based off some of the things that has been done. And this is why I've always said I don't like stories from the middle of the story. And I need that other half of the story. Even if I'm talking to somebody that I believe, I just still need that other half of the story just for better understanding.
I would like to be taken out of the group thread. A lot of these situations, I would like to be removed from the group thread. I don't need to know about a lot of these things.
Yeah.
I don't need to know about none of this shit. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
About Halle Bailey.
Halle Bailey.
Halle. I feel like her. Let's talk about her name real quick. I feel like her parents.
No, they knew what they was doing.
They was doing something.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't want to do the whole. They didn't want to go the extra mile.
They were brilliant. They were brilliant because there's times where Halle Berry might pop up trying to type her name in. So it's strategic. It's strategic.
The what's that? The hashtag. They knew it.
Yeah,
got it. Yeah, man. I don't need to know about all of y'all like situations and like.
But you know what this is. But you know what we may not. But you know what's good about this stuff. The conversation is great. Because I think there's not enough people that don't understand do's and don'ts. There's we all have our personal perceptions on what we think a relationship should be, what we think co-parenting should be, a marriage should be. But then there are still the unwritten rules. Like, keep your stuff private. Be very, very selective on who you choose to be with, who you choose to procreate with. Because at the end of the day, despite what he says and what she says, they're still both to blame because the accountability comes in with this is who you two chose to procreate with.
That's who you chose.
Social media can be on Halle Bailey's side. They could be on DDG's side. But at the end of the day, those two individuals chose each other to procreate. And the masses are trying to pick a side on who's right and who's wrong. They're both wrong if it's not working out.
Yeah, and just to close out, I guess I just don't understand. I'm more inclined to be protective of the mother of my kids' image.
Right.
I chose
that's something
this
else
person
that's lacking on these matters too.
Right.
These they're not even looking at, hey, we need to protect each other to protect the child sometimes.
Because I'm like, we were friends, lovers, whomever in this relationship. Like, we could talk to each other however we is in a moment of frustration.
And in private, for sure.
But I'm not going on the internet to talk down on you and call you, you bum, like Remy and Papoos. Like,
bruh, you already know I covered that, and that was so annoying, man.
I was interested because I never seen Pap really.
Yeah, he's always been quiet.
And he did it nice. I like how he did it.
Yeah.
But it's like, why didn't y'all like and love each other for so long? Like,
bro, they was holding each other down, holding her down while she was locked up, and yeah. And to be honest, they were both quiet. It's just her, because she wasn't saying nothing, but it was her actions were speaking for her by being at the battle raps and letting Easy Mac, the captain.
Yo, she looks crazy right now. Yes. I ain't gonna lie, she like a bird right now, bro.
Yeah.
She don't even look like the same Remy. Like, she don't look like the same.
She had more of a aura to her in her prime, but I just look at, and this is what I said on the other episodes where it's like,
Easy Mac, the block.
The Easy Mac, the block of cheese. But what I was saying is, like, the way that they look, they're being inconsiderate of their child, right? That's how I see it. And whether it's Cardi B and Offset, whether it's DDG and Halle Bailey, they all have something in common. You all have young children that you just brought here, or young children in general, and you guys know you're in the limelight, and you choose to behave this way. Like, you guys have lawyers and have PR teams and stuff like that, or should have that for that very reason, right? Because all of this stuff is starting to when's the last time anybody talked about Will Smith and the slap? It's not a conversation anymore. That's how fast that situation happened, and it went. But these individuals, they stay in the headlines, right? They stay with the drama, and it's like, yo, this affects your family. You know, whether you guys consider each other to be family or not, it affects your family. So, I digress. But moving along into, you know, this seems like it's going to be an ongoing conversation, but it's getting spicy and it's getting crazy. The Jane Doe in the Diddy trial, people are speculating that is 50 Cent's recent baby mom, Daphne Joy.
I've been seeing some rumblings in that. Like,
even when you look at the sketch art, it kind of looks like her in the sketch art, but because we're not there and it hasn't been fully exposed, well, I mean, 50 is...
50 seemed like he's trying to...
he's basically guiding us that it's her. He's guiding us there.
So look, I got a lot to say on this. All right. So I've been in tune with the Diddy case.
Oh, me too.
More than anything else.
Me too.
Been more in tune with it. The last couple of weeks, I kind of fell back. There's a lot going on. One, did you watch the Cam and the interview with dude from Marvel? No, I mean DC.
Oh, you talking about when he interviewed Punisher? I didn't get a chance to see that interview where they interviewed the Punisher, but
all right.
So I've read about some of the statements that were being made, and apparently he was saying some things that was contradicting Cassie's testimony.
I don't know. I think for the most part,
because I read that she was with a lot of the stuff that she was saying she was forced to do through his.
Yeah, but see, dude didn't say that he knew whether she was being forced to do it or not.
Okay.
His interview, wicked. Your man Diddy, yo.
That's listen, not my. I've never met him. I haven't done any music with him. That's not my guy.
Lifetime Achievement Award
for diddling,
for your man's award.
Okay.
Lifetime. Don't even.
So we should name the Your Man's Award the Diddy Award.
Nah, because
inside joke. We'll tell y'all one day.
Because the recipients of the Your Man's
Nobody.
Award. Nah, you can't implicate niggas on that type of behavior. Niggas get the Your Man's Award for all kind of different things, accolades.
Right.
You can't just put that on.
So he just has his own lifetime achievement.
He's a lifetime. When he pull up, he pull his card out and he show it. Niggas get sent to the upper room elevator. He got his own private corner of the whole, you know what I'm saying, event space.
So you're going off of basically his behaviors in these freak-offs.
My nigga, what dude said he was doing. And I'm going to get back to another part of what I've been interested in this Diddy case.
All right.
The dude said he didn't know it was Diddy for like 6 months, 6 to 8 months. So
okay, so I did not hear anything about this. So how did he know? How did he not know that Diddy wasn't involved directly in the freak-offs? What was Diddy doing?
This is what he said it was going on. He pull up. He pull up for the little thing. He said, man, him and Cam, he said, like bruh said, nah, he used to be at the record playing ball. He said,
Punisher dude used to hoop.
He said he played against Cam before. Like him and Cam was naming off coaches and all kind of. He was like, yeah, Cam was like, where you was up the street? You from Harlem? I said this story is getting crazy.
So this Punisher dude, this paid escort is from Harlem.
Is from Harlem,
bruh.
He's from Harlem,
and Diddy's from Harlem. So
black dude. So what he said was, he had his little page. He like, okay, he get hit up by Cassie. She said, I want my husband like to see you rub the oil on me and me rub the oil on you. So they oil up. He said he in the room. He pull up. He like, damn, this hotel room.
Remember, this is YouTube, man. So try to.
No, I'm gonna keep it PG. He like this hotel room fly. Like it's some nice shit going on in here. And he say, when she say, you gotta act like you don't see him.
Cause
all right, so I got act like you not seeing him. So he said he in there, they doing whatever, and a dude walk in with He said the Muslim mask, the mask that the Muslim women be wearing, the hijab.
The hijabs? Man, he did not walk in there with a hijab, bro.
He said He said
Diddy walked out and
walked in
with a hijab.
With the hijab thing getting itself right.
What?
No, I think he might have got himself right in the other room. I don't know. Dude said he didn't know what was going on and he didn't know it was Diddy for so long because he said, I didn't look at the nigga.
He gave us high straight. I followed directions.
Bro, he said I couldn't get right because it's this nigga.
Because this was so wrong.
With an executioner's mask standing by.
So the Punisher met the executioner.
So he said. So he said, well, what happened there? They'll do the little whatever he want to see. And he said he didn't know it was Dude's voice. So I don't know if Diddy didn't.
So he went in there disguising his voice?
Take that. He didn't say nothing like that because you know Diddy's voice. Yeah. And he from Harlem. So
the Punisher dude is saying that Diddy disguised his voice on top of wearing a mask?
No, he didn't say he disguised his voice. He just didn't say nothing, right? Or he didn't say enough for him to recognize that was him. So they're not talking because Diddy obviously, I think Diddy, he said dude was not talking at the time or whatever was going on. I don't know. I'm just like, this is crazy. He said it happens, every once in a while. Then it would be like 3 or 4 months later they hit him back up. Mm-hmm. And then he said one time went in there, he couldn't get right or whatever. Diddy went to see, got himself right, and I think Diddy left, and she said, "You want to finish? You did you finish?" And he said, "Nah, I'm good," because if I get to finish, is he gonna come back in here? Yeah. So he's like, "Nah, it's all bad." So either way, with that interview, you got to watch it because. Just how dude explains the story. It's definitely crazy.
Okay.
But as far as the Diddy trial, what I think is crazy and the future uses of AI. Dog, on Law and Crime TV network on YouTube, they have, I think it's 5, maybe 6 now. The defense opening statements, defense opening statements and the prosecutor opening statements. But it's AI. So
people are taking the transcripts and reenacting it through AI.
With the prosecutors, Diddy is in there. These people look like it. And the whole court is moving around like the camera is switching to the jury, to the prosecutor, to the witness and everything. Like you watching court TV, mouths moving on point. Everything is synced up.
Oh, I got to watch that.
Bro, you watching the whole trial on there, except they just don't show Cassie's face. They show her from behind as a witness. But you see Diddy. You see everybody is that.
Yeah.
Is in the courtroom, and it's about 5 or 6 different episodes now. So they're doing the whole trial. AI.
That's crazy.
And it looks crazy. All you do is read the comments. People are like, "What the hell?"
But that was brilliant. Whoever did that is brilliant because they're probably snatching up a lot of good views.
Right, and all the comments and all the views and all.
I'm mad
likes.
I didn't come out with that.
Yeah. So Diddy trial is your man. Yeah.
So with the like I said with the Daphne Joy thing, man.
Yeah. Okay. So
50 is trolling her like crazy, trolling Diddy like crazy.
But that's what I forgot to tell you. Sorry.
What's up?
That's the reason I brought up the Punisher. Cameron asked him a question.
Okay.
And he asked, "Yo, I heard such and such is 50 Cent baby mama that you dealt with. Is that true? Is Daphne one of the one?" I don't remember what the dude said. And I think 50 might have reposted or something. People thinking that 50 asked Cam to even ask that question.
I could see that, but the reason why so many people believe that it's her is because after they broke up and they were just on a co-parenting trail, she was caught multiple occasions hanging out with Diddy at all white parties and stuff like that. And so I want to say maybe around the time the allegations were rolling out, that's when Diddy was trolling with the photos and stuff like that. I'm going to say this, bro. I see a pattern with this trial that doesn't sit right with me. And a lot of people were mad at me on social media because of my take on this. and I still stand 10 toes down on what I said with even more data. Were these women victims in certain instances? No doubt I believe that. The rules aren't the same as going to a regular 9 to 5. Yeah, there's an HR, but it's so different. Your work hours are different. Regulations are different. You know what I'm saying? I doubt Diddy needs to have OSHA certifications and stuff like that for Bad Boy, right? So I do believe that there could have been some hostile work environments, some hostile situations. But bruh, when we start bringing money in to what he was financing and paying for, to me, that's a clear indication on the tolerance level of the people that are testifying. Your tolerance level was based off of what he was providing. Now, some of the other crazy stuff that was going on, like with the assistants and things like that, I don't. It's confusing. Yeah, you know what I mean? But with her,
what is real, what is not.
Yeah, but with her, it's crazy because there's a pattern. And this is the thing that I need a lot of women to pay attention to, because they get mad when men comment on these things as if we don't have a voice or we don't know what we're talking about. When you take a Brittany Renner, for example, right, who's been with celebrity to celebrity to celebrity, they will drag that girl through the mud. They will call her a Jezebel. They will call her all of these different things. What's the calculator where the 304? You know what I'm saying? Every name in the book, because that is the perception and the image that she decided to present to the world, right? But then when a trial happens with women that could have possibly or allegedly moved the same way, how quickly they'll be labeled a victim. This woman was with 50 Cent, does have a child with 50 Cent, and is engaging with one of his biggest enemies. And let's be real, they've had this feud for at least 15 years minimum. Diddy and 50.
Might have been longer.
So when the mother of a 50 Cent or the mother of a 50 Cent's child decides to deeply engage with the Diddy, you don't think for 1 minute that they've never had conversations on why he didn't like Diddy? Hey, I don't like this dude because of this. And he really deep down inside moves like this and moves like that. And you go over there anyway. It's like the elephant graveyard on Lion King, right? You're not supposed to go over there. And let me tell you why you don't go.
And even worse, you put Nala in danger.
Yeah, you put Nala in danger. You know what I'm saying? And you still go over there. Something doesn't sit right, right? And so that's some of the things that I'm noticing with the Jane Does, or however, all these different names. Nobody wants to be, and this is weird too. I haven't really seen too many high profile celebrity cases where the witnesses that take the stand want to remain anonymous. This is new to me. This is new to me too, because there's been a lot of celebrity cases and we know who did what to who and how it happened, but. So I don't know if it's because of the social media era, people don't want to get that flack. But I know that if you have people take the stand that are not famous or that are not in the entertainment industry, I don't know if they would want to hide their identity, because, hey, man, something really happened to me. I was just an innocent bystander, this, that, and the other. But it just seems like people are worried about what other people think. And I'm here to tell you that if you are truly a victim, screw it. Everybody else thinks this really happened to you. So what are we really here for? Are we trying to protect our image while destroying somebody else's? Or are we really here to seek justice? Like, what are we all here for? Because almost every witness that has been brought up, there has been some contradictions in certain things that were being said. So now people are starting to believe or feel like, yo, he could really walk off of a mistrial. Not to mention that they already filed their second mistrial. You know what I'm saying, for the case.
I think it's going to be difficult for him to not get some time, because I agree with what you said. I think there was a lot of participation willingly. There may have been some aggressiveness. There may have been some abuse. Yeah. There may have been some physical, mental, emotional abuse. I'm not denying that at all. But I think what people are missing on this, from what my understanding of this case is, if they're presenting the freak off, to tarnish his image. But if we can confirm all these different ways in which these freak-offs happen, the freak-offs is a fact. It happened.
Right. For sure.
Now, I'm trying to figure out when are they going to move into the
RICO.
Confirming that he hired sex workers to travel across state lines.
Yeah.
That's where I think it will tie into whatever they RICO is. Because if they just talking about the freak-offs and the abuse,
well,
I don't know if he was stand because
it would be a slam dunk if that's what he was being charged for, and
that's what I'm saying.
And that's what's frustrating about these people in the comment section is like, there's been so many people that we've went back and forth with. I've went back and forth with. Like, are y'all following the case?
Yeah, like
everybody's like, yeah, he's guilty, dude. If this was about domestic abuse,
it's a wrap.
It would be a wrap. It wouldn't even take this long. It would take a couple days. Yeah. This is a RICO. This is a RICO case, and this is a criminal enterprise case for racketeering and through coercion.
I mean, well, he's done up on something. So we forget he had the guns.
Yeah.
With the serials scratched off.
Yeah. You know what an attorney said about like the stuff that they were finding in the houses is, and I thought this was a good take. He said, without being biased, guys, we don't know who's living in these homes. Those homes are owned by him, but he has staff, he has artists, he has family. You can't just assume that just because it's in the house that it belongs to this person. So even when you do find certain things, you still have to connect the dots, because some of the stories that were being said was like he grabbed like 2 or 3 guns and was going to go shoot Suge Knight at a restaurant.
Nigga.
But here's the thing. This is what I'm saying about like social media and people contradicting themselves. So for everybody that believes that Diddy really jumped in the car and had some weapons on him and was going to go shoot Suge Knight at a restaurant, Diddy himself was going to do that, right? Why would he be so comfortable doing that, but want to be strategic with forcing Cassie to book or assistants to book all the freak-offs? If you that wild to where you'll show your face, your bare face, with guns that don't belong to you, with scratched off serial numbers to go holler at an adversary, why would you get your girl or your assistant to book stuff under other names and aliases?
And you are Sean Puffy P. Diddy Combs.
Thank you.
Everybody knows who you are.
Thank you. Somebody's lying with those stories. Either the booking of under different aliases is a lie, or either him jumping in cars and about to go handle business.
His alias was crazy.
Diddy's?
Frank Black?
No.
That was one of his
Frank
aliases.
White.
No. Frank White is Biggie.
No, that's what I'm saying. When the assistant was saying that she was booking stuff, she said she was booking stuff under Frank White.
No, but I think he had the nickname
Frank Black. Oh, yeah, that is crazy.
That was his freak-off name. Yo, I'm telling you, the Frank being black is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild. Yo, I did.
He's like, when you think of the devil, you think of like demons and ghouls.
You know they they already put his face on the demon from Tales from the Hood.
Nigga,
I downloaded it.
I guarantee you, this is one thing that I want to know. Like, we talking about Puffy, bro.
Yeah.
This shit is crazy.
Yeah, it's not like you talking about like somebody that had a one-hit wonder career. We're talking about somebody that
has led pop culture,
has
not
helped
just hip-hop.
shape. He's helped shape the culture and the industry and what we believed what a hip-hop mogul looked like, from clothing brands to doing reality shows and creating artists to
since we
were kids. So, so this is what I think it's like. The way our parents felt about Bill Cosby's trial is kind of like how our generation is seeing Diddy, because you grew up seeing Biggie Smalls and all these different things that he was doing in the flex was crazy. Just like our parents grew up and were adults watching Bill Cosby be this clean
TV,
comedian,
movie,
TV
stand-up.
dad, really witty on the shows. And it's just like, wait, that's how you really get down? That's what you really doing?
And it's crazy because we've been hearing, when was the first time you heard the word freak off? Because I think I heard the word freak off, bro, in the 2000s or 90s. I remember hearing that word.
Okay, when we were growing up, I heard freaknik.
Freaknik, that's Luke and them.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Freaknik.
So
I think freak off was close, right?
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah.
So I didn't really start hearing it as much, and maybe I did hear it as a kid, but I didn't start hearing it as much until the stuff started coming out about Diddy.
Oh, okay. So I remember
because people wouldn't refer. Because when celebrities would talk about him, they would talk about like, oh, them Diddy parties just crazy, or yo, nobody knows how to throw a party like Diddy, but nobody said freak off.
I swear that shit sounded familiar when I first heard it. But either way, man, it's just crazy to see, like, because social media has already, like, it's a wrap for him.
Do you think if Daphne Joy is confirmed, like people can confirm that it was her, do you think she would lose credibility because of her affiliation with 50 Cent prior to dealing with Diddy?
I mean, credibility for what?
Just as far as
what she said?
As far as in what she said.
Would she lose credibility as a witness because she dealt with 50 before?
Mm-hmm. And the reason why I asked that question is because their
rivalry is not as significant for I think for someone.
Because I feel like that's what I feel like that's what 50 is doing right now. It's kind of, even though he's anti-Diddy, he's kind of saying both of you guys are a nut job by trolling them the way he's doing.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
I just don't think that 50 and his relationship has any significance really to the case or at all for someone to say, well, she's not whatever she's saying is not the truth. You know what I'm saying? So
with some of the facts, he was paying her bills, which were $10,000 a month. I don't have $10,000 a month worth of bills, so that's awesome. So Diddy was apparently paying that. Not to mention that I don't know if she has custody over their son, over her and 50's son, but if she did, I'm pretty sure 50 was paying her child support, right? So when you take all of the perks that come along with the lifestyle of dealing with him, it's making, and apparently she was dealing with him all the way up until last year, 2024. So all of these allegations have been coming out, and all of these stories have been coming out, and apparently she was still dealing with him. And then you fast forward to now, and now she's a witness when it seemed like she was a willing participant last year, right? So that's why I'm saying, because of who she is, I'm wondering what people are thinking about her credibility. I don't
know. Depends on what
you know what I'm saying?
She said, but I don't know if I would say she's not a credible witness.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about her.
Society will determine.
Yeah.
Well, in closing, getting out of here, man, Dwayne Carter dropped the Carter 6, and people are giving mixed reviews, and people don't like it.
Most of what I've heard, people say they don't like it. From what I heard, I didn't listen
People
to
are pissed off about the Elephant song.
I keep hearing about that. From what I heard, the few tracks that I heard, the production and music is not good.
Wow. Okay. You know, it's okay. This is what's interesting.
But I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna keep it. This is my take. One, I didn't know we was on Carter 6. I stopped listening to Lil Wayne as a fan
after the Carter 3. Carter 2? Really?
You remember, I was a Wayne fan.
Yeah, Hot Boys, and growing up.
We was in 6th grade. And I was a Wayne
when Cash Money was still a group. Yeah, for sure.
When he dropped his first album, The Block Is Hot, I went and copped it on tape. With my own money. I was a Wayne fan, and a lot of people, I thought Wayne it was dope for somebody that age, so close to me, to be rapping, but not rapping like Bow Wow and
he was
Kid and Play.
He was raw gangster.
And he had content. This is when he rapped about his real dad,
Yeah.
Rabbi, which is not his biological father, it was his stepfather.
Yeah, the person that raised him.
Rabbi raised him.
Right.
This is before y'all knew
Birdman to be his dad. Yeah, for sure. The Pop I Know, that's who he was talking about.
I'm not saying that as a fan, like, hierarchy of a fan, like, I listened to him way back in the day. Wayne had content. On his first album, it was songs that have content. Stories.
Yeah.
Concepts.
Yeah.
Once he started rapping like the best rapper alive.
Yeah.
I was kind of
Mixtape Weezy. When Mixtape Weezy showed up.
Because it's just.
The Squad Up all the way till now.
I liked some of the verses and all that, but I was off of Wayne as a fan like that because I just didn't feel like the content was there. The first Carter to me is my favorite.
Okay.
That's my favorite one because I was like, oh shit, this is a growth of Wayne.
Yeah.
Like, this is
like,
I'm like, ooh, this is a grown man.
Let me see,
Wayne.
like, you got to see who he was and what he was like separate from the Hot Boys and the Cash Money. It was just strictly him. He still had resources, but it was
him
Wayne. Yeah, his sound. You got to really see what his sound and how far it could go. Just like Juvie. When you heard the Juvenile album, yeah, he had the Hot Boys, but he was still Juvie. He had his, and that's when we got that from Wayne.
Now, the Carter 2 is good. I'm not gonna
Carter 2 was a lot of people's favorite.
That's their favorite.
Yeah.
But that's their favorite because most people that's when they got into it. Because he dropped the Carter 2 in between the Carter 1 and between the Carter 2. That's when he was rapping his ass off.
Yeah.
After the Carter 1, he started really rapping differently on different beats. And then now people are picking up and like he's gaining more momentum as being like one of the top rap artists at the time. So a lot of people will say that's his best album because they ain't listened to shit before that.
Yeah, they can't quote a lot of.
They ain't listened to shit before.
Wayne.
But
yeah,
either way, whatever your take is on Wayne's albums, or as an artist or being a fan, after Carter 2, I stopped fucking with the Wayne music. It just wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the image of him and like his sound and the voice and different things. Needless to say, I had stopped listening to him as a fan, so I haven't kept up with a lot of the music. There are some songs that he's dropped in between those times that I like and everything. So I just didn't jump to run to the Carter 6 and expect this to be some great album. I ran to it. Carter 4 or 5 was good.
I ran to it because of the bad reviews.
That's the only reason
I was like, all right, I gotta listen to this. And you know what? Well, the crazy thing is I like it. I like the Carter 6. What I've been telling people, and you guys know who you are, what I've been telling a lot of people having conversations through text and through DMs, I think it's a decent album. I just don't think it's a Carter album. I think this album should have been called something else, but it doesn't sound like and to be honest, I actually like this better than the Carter 5. I wasn't feeling the Carter 5. When he was jumping on the Special Delivery remix beat with Swiss Beats, I wasn't feeling that. You know what I'm saying? And that got a lot of streams. It did a lot of numbers. I mean, there was some, mixed reviews here and there, but not as much as this one. And so what a lot of people are saying is like, man, he's still on this and that. And I actually feel bad for the reviews that Wayne is getting because I never looked at Wayne as like the best rapper alive. And the way that people were crazy about Wayne, I never seen him like that. I always seen him as he's just a dope artist who I've seen elevate and get better. Because I have my preferences on who I think are the GOATs, right? But even when it comes to my favorite Wayne album was Lights Out. I loved Lights Out.
Mask On, Creep Silent.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I loved that album. I liked Shine. I can
500 Degrees was...
500 Degrees was a dope one. That's probably my second favorite, right? But nobody really talks about that album that much. The Lights Out, people will talk about 500 Degrees more than Lights Out
for sure.
But people don't even talk about 500 Degrees that much either.
Because Lights Out is before 500, right?
Yes.
Because it go Block Is Hot, Lights Out, 500.
500. Because I feel like around when 500 came out, Juvie was leaving, and you know what I'm saying. So,
like, what I could say, two things I could say as a person who's an older man who would like to hear Wayne rap a certain way. I would like him to stick with one producer. I would like for him to talk about his things.
Where he's at now.
Come with it. I think he spent so much time rapping about nothing.
Or what people wanted him to rap about.
Yeah, but it's really just nothing.
Yeah.
It's not, he's rapping about nothing really too much to where has he forgotten to rap about something? Okay. Because that's what my gripe is as a fan.
I'll say this.
What are you talking about?
I'll say this. I'll say this about Wayne. A couple things, right? So the reason why I said I feel bad for Wayne is because people will do this because they did this to Eminem. They do it to Jay-Z. Everybody that was on top for a long time and was just almost untouchable, people will, after time goes on, people will say, they're this or they're that, which you can never make everybody happy. But I don't think people take the time to say, hey, maybe you just grew up.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe you just grew up.
Eminem, Jay-Z, despite what we say they may have hit their peak as far as like, they can't get any better than what they already are.
Yeah, right.
They at least gave us content.
This
in their grown men ages.
That's the point I'm making. And people still complained.
Yeah, but like...
That's why when Jay-Z said, what did Jay-Z say? Niggas want the old me. Go and buy my old shit. I respected that because it's like, bro, if he was still talking like the old Jay-Z, you guys would say he's still on the same type of stuff. When 444 came out, that's probably my favorite Jay-Z album. I thought that album, the way it sounded and how it was put together, that was the true Blueprint 3. It reminded me a lot of Blueprint 2 with the samples, concept. I felt like Blueprint 3 should have been 444 and 444 should have been the real Blueprint 3. And a lot of people dragged 444.
I think the best artist to do a resurgence. And honestly, there's going to be one person right under him that I'm going to say, depending on when this album drops.
Bro, if you don't say MC Hammer, I don't want to hear it.
Nas with the Hit Boy series.
Yeah. You're talking about King's Disease.
I'm talking King's Disease, and then what's the two that they dropped?
So what he did, they did 6 albums.
Right.
I'm a Nas, like,
right.
That's my
King's
guy.
Disease series.
So you had the King's Disease series, and then you had
what
Magic.
The Magic series.
The Magic series.
Right.
And so what he was doing is he was dropping King's Disease 1, Magic 1. Yes. King's Disease 2, Magic 2, King's Disease 3, Magic 3. And I'm going to tell you right now, I hated the Magic albums.
A lot of people didn't, but he was rapping.
I hated the Magic albums except for the third one. The third one was like, okay, the third one was him, right?
I think the first and the third.
Yeah. Well, I liked a couple songs on the first, but I liked all the King's Disease.
All the King's Disease.
All the King's Disease was raw. All of them. Right?
Now, this is what I'm talking about.
And what he was talking about in the album, he's talking about being an older man and even eating differently and now I'm sending the young kids to the liquor store because I'm the OG.
He's talking that Nas talk. He's on He's killed. No one can say nothing about his beat picks no more.
Which was Vlad's fault, by the way. He was the one that started that.
I ain't gonna lie. As a Nas fan, I felt that way a lot too, though.
Really?
It was beats that I like, boring beats that some people bought, but it was just Nas was just like, I don't like that one. It's a lot of some of my favorite artists.
Where you didn't like the beats that they were, yeah.
It just didn't hit.
Okay.
No one. He got the production right. He got the young dude who's hot.
Mm-hmm.
Production is crazy.
Right.
He's dropped
6 albums.
6 albums
in 3 years.
3 you could say classics.
Yeah. Late in his age. And grabbed a Grammy late in age too. And the only other person that's done that is Killer Mike.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's the resurgence. Killer Mike's always been who he was, and I'm talking
about as far as age and getting that Grammy and hitting that point.
I put him up there too.
Yeah.
But that's what I would want from Wayne. I want that. But the person that I was going to mention as saying their resurgence is going to be crazy. They ain't missed a beat. Malice. No Malice.
Okay.
You heard the new Clip song?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So that's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
But Wayne, that's where he got to go do because everything else he's doing is just.
Well, you used to get that. And in that part, I can't even debate that. That's a fair take. Any fans of Wayne that feel that way, that is a fair take. Because even with the Carter 3, what I respected, the the two songs that I thought were very interesting and creative was the male version of Irreplaceable. That song that he did, that was for the men, so they could play something for the women during their breakup, right? And then I really liked Dr. Carter when he was talking about where he was trying to save the patient. You remember that song?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm looking at these
for Carter 3.
Yeah, I was off of Wayne on this, bro. I did not listen to the Carter 3. Only songs that I know, songs like obviously like Lollipop.
Well, yeah, the singles.
But those are the songs I don't remember.
I don't like Lollipop. I
hated those songs.
But I hated them because of the way that they played them out.
It was Lollipop, a Millie. I hated that song.
Really? I liked the Millie when it came out.
I hated it.
You really
Millie.
hated the
That's
Millie?
That's when that nigga started getting on Corey Guns and loving Corey Guns because that double time rap. But I wasn't on double time. Like,
You didn't like when Kendrick did it.
I used to be like, man, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this album I was definitely off. Hey, Mr. Carter.
That was with him and Jay-Z.
Yeah,
is there a song? Because I might have said the title wrong. Was there a song called Dr. Carter on there?
Let me see. 3P, Mr. Carter, a Millie, Got Money, Comfortable, Dr. Carter.
Let me tell you about Dr. Carter.
Okay.
And you'll like the beat because the beat is simple. You need to go back and you need to listen to this.
Okay.
The concept of the song is him trying to save the rap game. But each verse is a patient that he can't save that dies because of their lack of creativity as an artist.
I just realized it, bro.
What's up?
I realized the transition when I stopped fucking with Wayne. No, I had to really sit there and think about it because I looked at this track list and I was like, bro, the song that I slapped the most of Wayne right now recently, that shit slap. And he rap like Wayne now, but it's a New Orleans song on a New Orleans beat, bro. I don't like Wayne off of that type of sound. I think Wayne is the best, craziest on that Manny type sound, bro.
So you haven't listened to the new album, right? Okay, now let me tell you this. So let me finish my Dr. Carter reference.
That was crazy.
The Dr. Carter song. The reason why I think you should listen to it is because to me that's one of the most creative songs I think Lil Wayne wrote. Because when he got to the third verse, he saves the patient. What you got to understand is like the sound effects. He sounds like he's in the hospital. He's saying certain stuff, and then his references, like, this, that, and the other. But I'm a doctor. They don't recognize they can't read my writing. Like he's doing those type of references of what a surgeon would go through, and it was around that hip hop is dead type of era. So I appreciated that. That's when I was like, see, I think that's what a lot of people were looking for on this album. With us now growing up and being the same age as Wayne as well, right?
Yeah, because we are the Wayne fans.
We are the Wayne fans that were the same age as him.
Yeah, he
don't
got
what I'm
this. The last 10 years, ain't nobody a new Wayne fan really.
Well, no, because a lot of these current artists are his children. Kodak Blacks,
the kids growing up buying the music. They don't
know that they're children of the Wayne family tree because of the hair, the style.
I'm not even saying the artists themselves. I'm saying the fans are not. There's not anyone who's growing up now and be like, "Hey, I gotta go listen to some Wayne."
This is the point I'm trying to make. The reason why is because they don't understand. We know who Jay-Z's big homie was, Nas's big homie was. All the people that we like. We even listened to their sensei. These kids don't know that the people that they're listening to, their sensei is Lil Wayne. Yeah. So they're not looking for content from Lil Wayne. Right. I would still listen to Cool G Rap just based off of the influence he put on Nas or Jay-Z's influence. Why am I drawing a blank? Jazzo. Right? I would listen to a Jazzo album. That's the difference. That's what's missing about, the culture.
They don't dig and they don't have a respect.
They don't go do their research
for what came before. Like if you were like, oh shit, let me see, that came before that. Like you remember we used to hear certain songs like that live at the barbecue, or we would hear certain songs that we might not have heard or just been a little far removed from, like that he redid on the album, which is what was the posse cut that he remixed.
I know what you're talking about.
Something new. What do you call it in New Orleans? It was
yeah, you're gonna have to look that up because I know what you're saying, but I can't.
He remixed it to a New Orleans trap.
Yeah.
Carter 6 track listing.
You have to look at that.
I'm
but
tell you right now.
also, let me make my other point. The dopest song on the Carter 6?
Banned from NO. He remixed Banned from TV. So songs like Banned from TV with Nas, Cam and Styles and all them.
So check this out. The dopest song, and people might argue with me or agree with me, I don't know. The dopest song on the Carter 6 was produced by Manny Fresh, in my book.
Is that at the end of it?
Yes, it's the last. It's like the last song.
Yeah.
Because I listened to it. I listened to it fully through, and I was waiting for people to be like, to hear what people were talking about, right? And when the Peanuts to Elephant, I understand why y'all. I understand why people are mad about that because the beat gets more aggressive with elephant sounds the more you listen to the song. It's a lot going on. It's a lot of Jumanji music. It's a lot of Jumanji music on there. But the body of work I actually like the album. It's not a Carter album to me. It doesn't belong in that series. It belongs as its own entity or whatever the case it was. That's how I see it.
Yeah, Wayne, you gotta get back to writing.
But maybe he does need this from his fans because I don't think that he lost fans. I just think his fans are lost with this album. You know what I'm saying?
Also, he needs to have someone guide this that is.
Budden said that. Joe Budden said that a lot of people that are in the industry are like, who's his team now? Yeah,
he has to have someone help guide this.
Right.
I want a grown concept thought out album to where it may not even have to be a concept, but like the songs make sense and for you, who you are now, your age, your fan base.
You can't be afraid of, and I'm not saying that Wayne is, but you can't be afraid of reaching out to a colleague to executive produce. A lot of people don't know that Jay-Z album, American Gangster, which I do like that album, that was executive produced by Diddy. And I know his name ain't hot right now, but
he still is.
I didn't realize that, that there has to be a level of stepping away from your ego to say, I'm gonna go here because I know this person knows how to put together a track. Because you got to understand the thing about this Carter album, or for a lot of y'all that don't know, and this is from an artist perspective, because at the end of the day, I am an artist myself. People don't understand that artists record a lot of music and then they pick out of all of that music what the album is going to be. So, like, for example, all of Nas's Lost Tapes albums, those are just songs that didn't make the big albums, and they just decided to make that an album. So there could be songs that were passed up to go on this track list that should have went on it versus the ones that are on there.
But sometimes you got to go back to your roots. It's like Sinners. He's been lost in this damn outside the.
I ain't seen the movie yet. Don't tell me.
You better go see.
Okay, well then babysit. I got babysit your godchildren, bro. All right then. All right. Babysit your godchildren.
I thought you would have already seen it. I
thought you would have babysat so I could go see the movie.
Listen,
yeah, I'm just gonna put you out there right now. You got godchildren.
Bring the youth.
No, you bring yourself to the youth.
Got it. Youth center is
good.
It's good.
Yep. He said it on camera. He was gonna watch them too. So,
getting back to your roots.
Yeah.
The person who I was an extreme fan of after Wayne, there was only one other artist who I was like, damn, I'm tuned into everything.
I knew it was Drake. Bro.
Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, right? Bro.
Okay.
Yeah, you was officially Wiz don't know it, but you was part of Taylor Gang. I did not know about. You told me about Wiz Khalifa. I was not listening to Wiz Khalifa, and you was heavy on the Taylor Gang thing.
2000 and
was it like 9? I don't feel like it was 2009, 2008, 2009, 2010.
It was 2009 when I saw him at the Colonial Theater on Stockton Boulevard.
That's crazy.
Because Evelyn was pregnant.
Hey, that's where I seen Nas for the first time. Colonial Theater, 06.
It was only
December
half the
of 06.
Only half the theater was in there.
When people go to the Colonial, people don't know that who gonna be up in there.
Nobody even knew who Wiz Khalifa was.
Oh, okay.
This is way before Black and Yellow.
Okay.
Okay. So
that's when he had that song with the he took that that techno beat. That
what was that?
I actually like that song too when he came out.
I forgot the name of that song. That was one of his big singles when he was with Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So for years I've been off Wiz because I ain't really like the music.
He was doing a lot of them soundtrack joints. Because he was doing all the Fast and the Furious.
He's getting his money, but he was doing soundtracks. But he was also doing a sound that I kind of like. Wiz is always kind of like going through different sounds.
Unorthodox.
Cushion Orange Juice is held as is his greatest album.
Really?
Yeah, Cushion Orange. That's no skip. That's a project that everybody will say at that time.
Okay.
That is his greatest album.
All right.
After that, he kind of like fell off a little bit. As far as like my taste for his music.
All right.
He dropped Cushion Orange Juice 2. I was hesitant. I was like, man, he fucked up Cushion Orange Juice 2. Because I'm like, everything you've been racing ain't been there. So I'm like, you went back to Cushion Orange Juice 2 and you done nigga.
It's fire.
What?
Okay.
Bro, I'm back to watching his page on Instagram now. Like, what else you up to, my nigga? What you been up to?
Why you didn't say he was going?
Bro, the production, it don't even sound like, it sounds like a Cushion Orange Juice 2. Mm-hmm. It don't sound like he tried to force it. And the production is there, but he's now talking more grown, but it's a more like he stepped into more whatever the Cushion Orange Juice sound was.
So have you done your research on what's behind that album? Like, did he get with the same team from the first one? Did he go a different direction?
I listened to his interview.
Okay,
he talked about how.
So what did he do to capture that similar essence of the first album? Then
he went back to that type of cadence and flow.
Oh, so he probably had to go back and listen to himself. Like, you know what? What was I on? What was my headspace at that time in my life?
He said people said like they missed that kind of cadence and flow that he had, and so
he listened to the people too.
Yep.
Okay.
Went back to that.
So maybe Wayne just needs to listen to the people a little bit,
bro.
Because Wayne's bars are still there. They was trying to trash his bars and say they were dated. No. Wayne's bars were still there.
Rap.
Yeah.
He can still rap.
Yeah.
But that's not gonna be the entirety of the song.
They want a grown-up version of the Carter 2 Wayne.
Have we seen a grown-up Wayne?
That's a good question.
I don't think we've seen a grown-up.
I think we've seen a grown-up Lil Wayne. I just believe we haven't seen Lil Wayne that wasn't trendy. You get what I'm saying?
That's what I mean, grown-up Wayne, because the others are growing up.
Yeah.
And maybe that's also why they're in the position.
But a part of them growing up is walking away from what's trendy and doing just them.
And he's doing old trendy though. When your trends is in the past, like bring it, you know what I'm saying? Be more recently trendy.
Well, if people, because you are a real Wayne fan, if people realized what made him stand out so much when he did like the 500 Degrees albums and stuff, he was just Wayne. He wasn't on a trend. When he started growing the dreads out, it wasn't like because everybody else was growing. Everybody else was still heavy on braids. You know what I'm saying?
He was damn near the first one who bring back the locks, like the natty locks.
Exactly. So he started doing that. Like, you started seeing him create this version of Wayne that we have right now. Hold on. I said create, because I felt like the true, you know when you watch like anime or stuff like that, they have like their final form or their best form. Or if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, you know, when they Super Saiyan, I felt like Lil Wayne's Super Saiyan was the Carter 2 Lil Wayne. When the dreads was here and he was emulating a lot of Tupac with the shirt off and the sagging pants and standing in front of the Rolls Royce.
He couldn't miss.
No, he couldn't. I mean, from features to everything. Because there was that year where it was just T-Pain and Lil Wayne on everything, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that was not his peak, but was the form that people, like that speed that everybody wanted Wayne at right there. And then that's when he started evolving from image to sound. And then it started being
the Wayne with all the loud logos everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything is just clashed.
Yeah.
When he come out the house, he be wearing polka dot shorts.
Yeah.
With striped socks.
Yeah. Because even Skater Wayne and Rock Wayne, people were like, okay, I understand that you're trying new stuff, but then when it starts turning into like house slippers and all kinds of stuff like that, then that's when I think
it looked like you don't give a fuck.
When Lil Wayne fans went from collectively being together to being divided, I think that's when you seen the shift in him doing a whole bunch of different stuff. Does
Wayne not even? I think Wayne doesn't care
about what.
I think he's accomplished so much that he's just rapping because he likes to rap, and he does not care about what we give a fuck about.
I think a lot of artists do.
Because think about it.
I think a lot of artists do move like that, but I bet you because you can't avoid it being a celebrity. I think he's gonna get to a point where you're gonna quietly see him cross some of those stuff off the list.
He'd have to clean himself up.
I think
he'd have to cut the dreads.
He ain't cutting the dreads, bro.
They're gonna cut themselves. They're cutting themselves already.
Can't nobody save you.
They are cutting themselves.
Nah, it's not happening.
The more bun he gets, the less dreads he has. That lets you know.
Bro,
they're missing.
Remember when Mayweather's dad had dreads?
Nah.
Wayne will go. He will go.
Yo, if I see Wayne come out the house,
Wayne will do it. Wayne will do it because
cut the dreads, bro.
Bro, you want to see short fade Wayne?
That would be crazy.
That's
bro. Executive Wayne is crazy.
Nah, bro, I don't want to see
taper.
Nah, bro,
but he wouldn't even be able to have a taper.
Y'all called him Executive Wayne. Executive Wayne is crazy. He would have to go all the way back to wearing the bandana again, like the Hot Boys.
Have to.
That's crazy.
He have to wear a beanie.
You know what I think Wayne should do? I think Wayne should go on tour with the Hot Boys because they was tearing stuff.
Tried that.
No, that was working.
But something happened, didn't it?
I don't know what happened.
Oh, no, they just recently went on tour.
Yeah. They need to do that.
Uh-huh.
And I think after they do that, he goes quiet for a minute, enjoy his tour money,
and just fade out.
And get back into the studio with just Manny Fresh. Just Manny Fresh.
Yeah. But
he gotta do it like Rocky Balboa, the movie Rocky Balboa, the one with no number. He got to go like Rocky Balboa. He got to go back and train, you're not as young as you used to be, so you got to know how to throw haymakers now. Yeah. You can't take too many hits. You got to throw haymakers. He need to get back in the gym with Manny Fresh because that song he has with Manny Fresh is funny because your man's Terry, he hit me. It was like, I already know this is you. I'm waiting for you to remix it because I've always been a diehard Manny Fresh fan. That's always been. He's in my top 3 favorite producers, right? But when you hear the track, it's a sample. It don't sound like Manny, but it sounds like Wayne. That makes sense? So the production isn't classic Manny Fresh that we grew up on, but the production is that Carter to Wayne. We're going to play it afterwards because, whatever. Yeah, but yeah, man, that's probably what need to happen, dog. That's what I think.
Final question, though, is like the Carter series. What is the Carter series supposed to be about?
I like what you did there. Originally, the Carter, even though that's his last name, the Carter was supposed to be about the housing projects from New Jack City that Nino Brown was working out of. So basically, the way that I interpret it was this is the crack that he's selling out of the projects. Them Carter albums is like crack cocaine.
It was a triple double entendre?
Yeah, it was super entendre.
Because
it was super entendre.
Obviously, we know his last name is Carter.
Right.
But to me, I've never heard this take.
Really?
The Carter to me first is his name, but this is where I felt like this was the growth of being a man. I thought that's why I was like, this is like his first real This Is Wayne album.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about being the best rapper alive since the best rapper retired. Jay-Z, last name, Carter.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about or heard of the New Jack City reference.
I was told that reference around the first and second Carter, either between the first and second Carter or at the second Carter, from a Wayne fan way back when we was still young guys ourselves. It was like, yeah, that's what it's about, because I knew his name was Dwayne Carter. But then when I started referencing what the Hot Boys was about, with this type of stuff that they talked about, they always talked about moving weight and, being, in the streets and stuff like that. Even with 500 Degrees in the first Carter, it was still that street life and him rapping about real things that happen, like that baller blocking type of stuff. But you could tell his sword started being more sharp, especially when, you know, he got with Gilly and stuff like that. But that was what I was told. And so then when I started listening to the albums, I started, oh, okay, that's why it's Welcome to the Carter. You know, when you hear that at the beginning of the album, Welcome to the Carter, not, you know.
But I thought they said, Welcome, Mr. Carter.
No, Welcome to, like at the beginning of some of the songs on the albums, or like the first one, Welcome to the Carter, This is the Carter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yeah.
This is the Carter,
y'all. Yeah.
A lot more rich and a lot more rich and a whole lot smarter.
Wayne in your brain, young Carter. Yeah.
See, that's what I thought when they say this is the Carter. The album, This is the Carter. Obviously, it's still up to conversation. That's still a dope take.
But we're also going off of an entendre. So it could mean multiple things. But you know what? Maybe true Wayne fans in the comment section will tell us, nah, it's this and that.
Yeah, no, that's
correct
that's
me.
Cool
but a Wayne fan, when we were younger, that's what they said.
Cool
No, it's referencing to the Carter in New Jack City. And I was like, oh okay, that makes sense. I was happy I actually seen the movie because I really would have been lost. But yeah.
Yeah, man.
But still, shout out to Wayne, man. You still doing your thing, brother.
Yeah.
I like
Jersey's
the
still up
album.
there.
I like the album. Yeah, dude, he's solidified.
Jersey is still up there.
He's solidified. But we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get up out of here, man, because I know you got stuff to do, man. Anyways, you've been tuning in to the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building,
Harold.
And you've been tuning in to Outlawed Opinions, bro. You about to make
two syllables, but it just don't sound the same as when you say Poe. Farmer Poe is like Harold. And then it's like, it just don't hit the same.
Yo, let us know what you think. Leave your comments. I already know some of y'all gonna be mad because we always manage to make one or two of y'all mad. Let us know what you think on all platforms. TikTok, you know where to find us. Like and subscribe. Anyways, we finna get out of here. Until next time.
Peace.
Listen to that elephant song.